that is retired here. It's not, we on a set income. I know I am. I don't know about nobody else. We on a set income. And that would hit some of our customers' pockets real bad if we go up high on water rates. We need to get some revenue in here so we can get some money in here, and then we don't have to worry about going up on water rates, because then we'll have water meters set in place to hold it to bring money into the city. That's my opinion.
We're having to pay more for water, so.
I know we have to pay more for water. I understand that.
I don't have the money either, but.
My thought was, this is just my thought, on going up on the per 1,000 gallons over the rate of 2,000, going up on them rates as far as over 2,000 gallons. Also on the sewer, over 2,000 gallons, on those type of rates, and keeping the rates at the 2,000 the same, but maybe going up on the extra thousands of gallons rates.
Well, I think,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I think you're going the same way that my mind works. And I agree with Ernestine in the sense that it's a hardship on folks.
Oh, I know.
But of course, the cost of running a water system is going up too. But I would like for as much as we can, if there's gonna be an increase in rates, to be on those that use more as opposed to those
Yeah,
that
that's
really don't use a whole lot, have a small home and their usage is pretty minimal. I think probably what we need to do is study,
What is this?
the
What is
usage of
this saying
people.
the minimum will be with these changes?
That's what we want it to be. That's what we
Okay.
gotta figure out.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking, we may, right now, it's under 2,000 and over 2,000. We may wanna look at that and make it
What are we increasing?
something else. We might wanna make the break at 5,000 or 1,000 or 2 to 4 or whatever.
I just think we need to discuss this and figure this out before we just raise everybody's water.
That's fine.
Well, I agree, and that's why it's on there as a discussion item. We can't take action today, because it has to be an ordinance, and we've got to have it drafted like we just did with that engineering fee.
You raise the water, then you still have a $35 late fee. That's a lot for a person that
So
maybe
what
be
was
getting
the-
social security
what was
or
the rate before?
SSI and
I don't,
paying their little bills every month.
The late?
late fee's been 35.
Starting.
It's 30, my bad, I'm sorry,
Whatever.
I'm sorry, I put the extra 5,
The
30.
regular-
I'm sorry.
What's
I'm
the-
sorry.
And the last minimum bill was $94.50.
I think it was 94.
94.50
Before
is the minimum.
that, it was way lower. It was
Yeah.
like $78.50.
Yeah.
And we had to make a big increase, but it hadn't been increased in how long? How long we talked about that a long time ago? It had been increased in a lot of years.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, it was $78 before, and now we're at $48? What am I?
No,
The total bill.
The total
Total
minimum.
bill.
Total bill before.
Total minimum, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it went from like 78 to 94.
Okay.
and then to 99.
Well,
The total.
So me thinking about this, I know they're talking about over the 2,000, but I think we need to, our commercial business rate out of city residents, I think people that don't actually pay taxes to the city and businesses that are making money off of the city's sewer and water should have to pay more than just the little bit they're paying over now, if any. I mean, 'cause I agree with Ernestine, if we have to pay for the water that we get extra, there's no doubt, somewhere, it's gonna come from somewhere. But if we keep on just pinching the people that pay it every month, that's where we're gonna get in a problem. So the people that are actually making money off of it, and the people that don't pay city taxes, I think, which there ain't, there's not very many of those, I don't know how many, but I think, you know, and if for some reason they don't want city sewer or city water, then they can get it somewhere else. I mean, but I'm just saying, I'm not being mean, Carlos, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't really know any other way to do it. I mean, 'cause if you keep on, like Ernestine says, you keep on penny pinching all the retired people, you know, they're not gonna be able to eat just to pay their water bill.
And I like to eat.
Our business commercial rate is very low for the fact that we're fixing to get in not that, I hate using them as an example, but when you don't have these businesses, you don't have these fees in, you don't really know what, we're just charging them a minimum rate. So when you're on a 6-inch meter, their water bill should be a lot higher than
Somebody on a
the
3/4.
basic 3/4 inch businesses here in town. And they're using a lot of water, so, I mean, that would be a good place to start with increasing, when, I mean, I know they're not gonna be open for another year or so, but who knows what's coming after that?
Yeah.
Have it in place.
Well, the
Yeah,
commercial
whatever.
rate should always be quite a bit more than,
It is, but we've only ever had commercial in town, and
Oh,
so,
yeah.
and we've never really just increased them a whole lot, they're on the same.
Cause they're still using a 3/4 inch
Yeah.
little line feeding the building, so they probably use less than the average house,
Mhm.
so,
Well, that's gonna change with the road ranger.
Right.
100%.
And then there may be other businesses out there.
Yeah, they'll have two, they'll have a 4-inch and a 6-inch.
But I think we need to look at all of that. But I agree
And
with what everybody said here, it's just, but it, especially with inflation being the way it is, I hate to put the bite on people and increase, you know, their water bill.
Another thing is, isn't our city trash up this year?
Yes,
Yeah. So-
it expires in October or November?
Probably October, whenever our, end of our fiscal year, or beginning of our fiscal year, so I'm thinking, you know, that's something that we need to have in place, we need to find out who we're gonna use, get the price, that way, whatever we do, we can make sure that it's covered, I mean.
Up it again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't wanna have to up it again, but, you know, therefore, you know, we just need to make sure it's covered. We don't need to wait until October to do this, but I'm saying we need to put all that in consideration.
Well, and Falls Valley always does their increase in November, you know, right after we've done our budget.
Yeah.
You know, every year I try to get advance information from them as to where they're going with it, and it's just, well, we don't know till we meet, and so we do our budget, and then the next month, we get a letter saying, well, this is what the rate's gonna be, so it's kinda frustrating.
I mean, I know with the houses on Old Ark, when they go in, whatever they do, whatever the lady's doing out here, whatever they end up doing with the subdivision, that's gonna help tremendously on water and sewer and taxes coming in, period. So, I mean, eventually we might be able to take some burden off of each individual household whenever it is taking care of itself like it's supposed to. But it's just, I mean, who knows the answer? I mean, you're gonna make these people mad, or you're gonna make these people mad, or nobody's gonna be mad and we're not gonna have water. And then everybody's gonna be mad if we don't. So,
To the extent that it can be done with use of water, I think it's hard to argue with the principle that the more you use, the more you pay. With your business, yeah, they're making money, but our businesses here on Main Street, they're not making that much money, so they're just, you know, they're not making a lot, and they're not using a lot of water either. But I mean, you can make the argument that they're making a profit, but, so they should pay more, but they're really not using that much water. And what, I think, the solution has always been, we need more meters, and then hopefully that may happen pretty soon. with
Well,
some
I
of
was
the plans that
referring-
are out there.
not to these businesses, but the ones that use the 6 and 4-inch,
Yeah.
the meters coming in and feeding the properties.
Yeah, and I think that's where we need to go with it.
cause even if we include these in town, they won't use that much water But the
Exactly.
other people will.
But the
so-
bigger size,
Yeah.
big size meters and lines will definitely use
And And
more.
it probably would be better to have it in one
You
hand.
can rate every meter for different prices. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's out there on how other people do it.
We have, I don't think we even have a differentiator rate for the size of the meters, and that's what we need to, I think we need to look at. That's just my opinion, but
Hey, I'm sorry about that, we're gonna have to table this again.
2,000, well, it's
Well, I
discussion
understand.
only anyway,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but we need to air it out, cause we just don't ever seem to have time to have workshops.
But we need to have it on here, cause if we don't, it will just, it
Exactly.
won't get done.
So if we don't get
Yeah.
talk about it, it'll never happen, but, what I would suggest is that we look at maybe some other larger cities and see how they do it, and adapt what they've got to our needs. Because, you know, we're not a town of 30 or 40,000 people, but sometimes they've done a few things, because the need has arisen that we're just now experiencing for the first time. So sometimes you can learn a little bit from that and then, tailor it to our needs, but I think we definitely need to be looking at not only larger, bigger, the categories above 2,000 gallons, and I think we need to look at, the size of the meters and charge it that way, so. If we do a little bit more homework, we can figure it out.
You have people, if you go on the water bill, and you have people buy their own medicine, so they either pay my water bill, I don't get my medicine, okay, well, I need my water, so I'm gonna pay my water bill.
You gotta
and
have
I'm
the
gonna-
water to take your medicine.
I'm gonna skip, well, I know that, I'm gonna skip on my medicine. I mean, I be looking at things like that. Cause it's hard for us older people, I don't know about you youngsters, but it's hard for us older people, older people. That's okay. I'm talking about, not me, but, hey, you know, I'm just saying, and insurance doesn't pay for everything, so we have to look at our situation with our relatives.
Sure.
It should be all about our relatives.
Well, we discussed this thoroughly enough for tonight.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting's adjourned.